All right, welcome back, gamers. We are ready to go. We have got BBZ versus Trickle Down Economics going again. Game number 2. That first game was a little bit of an interesting one. So Erebus, you got any thoughts on that and how you expect this draft to go differently?
I'd like to see BBZ not do hyperscaling. It works when you can just actively avoid fights, but TDE is pretty good at just hitting the go button. So if they go hyperscaling again, I'm not really a huge fan of their comp. I hopefully they play a little more aggressively. Geico's pretty aggressive. Dax can be pretty aggressive. Hopefully they don't mental boom. So we'll see.
I don't expect it to be a mental boom sort of situation. I do expect them to change things up a little bit. I kind of have a feeling though that they're going to go with Mizuza on some kind of hyper carry, something that's going to scale really hard into the late game, and I expect them to pick something that's going to be really scrappy in the bot lane and something in the top lane that's really tanky. So it's all about what Dax is going to go differently. I feel like that's going to be our main difference in this draft for BBZ. TDE, I kind of expect them to just run it exactly the same, and we can already see based on these picks right here,
This draft looks very similar.
Very similar. We have a rotation on the support to a Braum. I'm not this. I kind of like it. I kind of don't, because I feel like it's still not necessarily they're trying to like put some more front line, but put it on the support instead. So maybe they want Dax on a hyper carry as well, something that can do more damage and match up with leaves.
You just have more kill pressure with Braum. Like Lucian Nami scales pretty well, but Lucian Braum, you get the stun off instantly. This is almost the exact same draft.
Okay. The only difference so far is Braum.
So far,
it's like
Braum
the bans are exactly the same. So
if Braum's the only difference, I mean, like they're not going to pick Poppy again, but if Braum's the only difference, they're going to lose. I'm not really sure what I would like to see in the jungle. It's a little awkward. I think Lucian Braum is really difficult to play into.
I would kind of like to see a Graves. I think
Graves. Maybe. Into Kayn, I'd like to see Elise. I want to see some people whip out Elise. Elise isn't like super good late game, but you can just have so much pressure. Like you cause the game to accelerate on your own. You just like do 3 camps and just sprint around the map and cause havoc. It's a good time. It's pretty good in the Kayn too, because you can match his tempo. Not necessarily his farming, but his damage and whatnot. I like the Rumble. Rumble's cool. Rumble's scary. Rumble does a lot of damage.
It's basically got a pocket Corki package. Okay, so we got a Kindred pickup. Interesting choice.
We're gonna see. Kindred's really good into Kayn because Kayn can't just one-shot Kindred once ult's up. However, if Kindred gets behind, or like early game doesn't go well, it's one of the most awful champions to watch play. And like it's gonna turn to like a weird frontline Kindred thing, or just like a worse version of AD carry. I think Kindred's in a really good spot right now, and it's kind of like broken, but if you don't know how to play it super well, or you're not like super used to playing it, it's difficult to execute properly, especially in a 5 setting where everybody's very hyper aware of the marks, and it kind of leads to like easier tracking.
Yeah, you'll know exactly where your jungle is going to be because of the fact that those marks even exist. We have the Karma pickup as well for the bot lane.
Yeah, I like Karma. I think it's good. If you get hit by the Braum Q and Lucian dashes in, you can use Karma Mantra E and just kind of shield your way out. Or you could also just W the Lucian and E, the person gets hit at the same time. So it just makes it for a safer lane. I don't think it fits their team comp super well, but it does kind of deny the usefulness of the Braum pick.
Theoretically, if the Kindred ult is dropped, you can provide some shielding for your allies who are stuck inside of it and having to fight, so that they are not as much of a disadvantage whenever the heal comes through, if Kindred manages to survive for the end. So that's kind of one of those things that's going to be it's a little interesting. I know that I was like in favor of the BBZ comp before, and I'm still kind of leaning that way. I do feel like the Kindred might be the biggest hindrance, because the reason why I was thinking the Graves was I wanted something with range damage, and I feel like Graves, even though he's got the shotgun, so he wants to be kind of up close basically in melee, his ultimate does provide some of that extended distance trading that would be able to execute those targets. So with Kindred, you don't really have that. You've basically got to be in their face throughout the entire time until you get your stacks off, and then you have the stupidly long range that she can get, or that they can get. So it's kind of interesting, and I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I do like the 5-man stack, or the 4-man stack on this bush here, just to kind of catch anybody out, because they saw what happened last time with the Vision, where Mizuza just walked in and didn't really care. I'm not sure if that's going to be See, and we're going to see it exactly the same thing again. They are escorted this time, but Tadeas is going to walk right into all 4 of them, and this is going to be really bad. That's going to be an easy first blood, potentially second blood, as we're seeing Dax brought stupidly low. There we go. That's going to be second blood right there. Ultravox already got 1 kill on Ultravox, 1 kill on Rumble. That has put this game firmly in the hands of
Game's over. Game's over, but that's okay. We're going to play it out anyways, everybody. So had that not happened, Kindred would want to go red buff and then invade Kayn on Gromp, and you'd probably be able to get a kill. Kindred's just behind now. You're going to start blue buff late, and you already don't... Okay, you're not even going to start any buff at the right time. You're just going to be behind in tempo. You don't clear as fast as Kayn, and you're weaker than Kayn early if you don't get your early invade off. Your red buff's also warded, so they know where you are. And it's... I mean, no one burned any flashes, but those are really good characters to get your kills on, right?
Absolutely. Like, you get the Rumble just accelerate a little bit in that top lane where they're solo, and you get that Jinx accelerated towards their late game scaling. Both of those, gonna absolutely love it. Unfortunately, it's only 300 gold over to the Jinx, which I'm sure Ultravox would much rather have that first blood gold, because it's crazy how much of a difference that 100 gold makes early. Overall, though, there's still some routes back into this game for BBZ, but if they just allow themselves to keep taking this poke, they're going to find it very difficult to come back, and I don't think this is going to be the tempo that BBZ wants.
They just have a harder to execute comp, right? And that level 1, I mean, level 1 doesn't usually matter a ton. You can die, and it doesn't, like, it's only 700 gold. It's usually not the biggest deal, but when your characters are the characters you picked versus the enemy characters, it's going to make it difficult. Let's see who gets the smite here.
Smite right, all right. Smite Kindred over to Leaves. That's going to be a nice win for them. And Dax is going to be even farther behind. Chased down by the Reaper. They are not going to be able to get away as they get their back slashed open. And that is going to be a pause, as clearly someone is having some connection issues.
I don't know who. I didn't see anybody disconnect, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. So that's a little rough for Kindred. Still level 2. You die. Apparently Dax was the one that lagged out. That would make a little bit of sense as to why he didn't flash. If a remake would be pretty rough. Just because
I don't even know if a remake is possible at this point. That would be
I don't know.
up to visual, or up to staffing, and we'll have to go ahead and take a look back. However, with this, how are you expecting game number 3 to go? It's going to be a match point for TDE, obviously, based on the way things are going. So, how do you think BBZ is going to come back with that 3-0 sweep, or that 3-2 sweep?
I'm gonna keep it real, Sheridan. If they lose this game the way that it's going, none of them are gonna want to play the third game. I've been, if you're like, okay, well, we lost a close first game, that's pretty tilting, and then you immediately start off just getting murdered in your own jungle. 2 times in 2 minutes on a carry champion, it's not going to feel good. Yeah, and like your bot lane isn't playing the lane super well. Your top lane is an Ornn into a Rumble to get a kill.
And we're back in it, and already things are getting fired up as we have Medusa getting caught out right here, having to flash away, ignited under tower. They're going to be not taking that last auto attack. If they had taken just a couple more shots, that would have been a very good kill for them, but that's going to be a little bit of a rewind to watch that back. We got some stuff going on the top side as well, it looks like.
Let's see. So, I don't know. It's just an awkward game now. Everything's going to feel really bad. I'd like to see Zenzen not shove the wave. I mean, right now it's good. It's good to shove the wave right now, but like going forward, just stand in front of the wave and zone kill off a CS. That'd be really good. Kindred's just doomed. This is going to feel so bad. I'm actually not sure where Kindred can even go at this point to be useful. Crab. They get their mark.
Needs to basically be escorted to their camps for a little bit here. This is actually really good, though. They are trying to chase Bob Joseph down, get some extra gold. We're going to be flashing over the wall, chasing this Karma, looking for that extra kill. There we go. We does see the gold go on to Geico. Going to try and even things up in this bot lane a little bit, as they are now even with the Jinx having a kill as well. So that is theoretically good, and that's kind of what we're going to need to see happen, is when Kindred is trying to go for these camps that we know are going to be a little risky, they need to be escorted. So unfortunately, that means you're going to have to take resources away from a lane to make sure that they don't get jumped on.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good play out of BBZ. team coordination wise. I'm really surprised that Jinx didn't move. There was only like 3 minions at the tower, and Kayn and Seraphine moved. So they definitely overextended for that karma kill, and they probably could have caught them. And they don't get anything out of not going. But Bob Joseph's playing this pretty well.
Karma Q.
Let's see. So Mark spawned top side. You're not going to get that. A little unfortunate. And bot's looking. I don't know. I mean, the kill's going to help, but Karma's playing really well, so it's going to be pretty awkward. And I think Rumble's going to be a big issue this game. I mean, he's up CS, and as long as you get your ult off, it doesn't really matter what happens in team fights. You just nuke people. What is happening?
Yep,
okay.
It's the equalizer for you. There we go. Dax jumping in on top of Bob Joseph, getting the wolf bite in, but not able to pick up the kill. Meantime, we got Tadea's getting the brittle proc, knocking Jaffe's head for a bit of a spin. I do think it's kind of funny that we've got 2 flamethrowers in the top lane. I mean, it's kind of like a reused Riot asset. It's in a sense, but just a little bit different effect.
Does Ornn do flames? I never knew what that effect was.
Breath.
Oh, okay, yeah. I refuse to learn what top laners do. I just avoid them. You know, they're gonna kill me no matter where I am. You know, they can do their own thing. That's a different game as far as I'm concerned in the top lane. I do like this wave control bot. I'd like to see. All right, so Kane's getting really good invades off. Kindred's losing a ton of CS. Gonna be down level 6 to level 4.5 probably, which is pretty gross. I'd like to see Kayn just continue to invade. You have Prio top mid, and your bot side Prio is pretty even as long as the wave's not shoving like it is. So heavy jungle pressure would be good, just because you're gonna win the fights right now.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those things where, like, I do think that when we get to these team fights later in the game, the Braum ulti is going to be really used, or not Braum ulti, Braum shield's going to be useful because there's so many different things it can block. Particularly like the Seraphine ult, it'll be able to block that. It'll be able to block anything Jinx throws out. So it'll be really nice. I think the only one that's going to be a problem is if that equalizer gets dropped right on top of them. That's going to be some major problems of these team fights as we get later into the game. So hopefully BBZ has a way to counteract that.
You know, Rumble's kind of like a Corki package, right? BBZ really wanted to use the Corki package, and let's see
ulti knock, and there's going to be a dead Rumble as Jaffe gets smacked on the head, hopefully getting the ignite kill off. Not going to be near enough damage, though. Very well played by Tadeus.
Tadeus has been looking really good on Ornn, like really, really good. I do love Rumble's death animation. It is the funniest thing ever, just seeing him get launched a million miles into the sky. But yeah, Tadeus looks really good. I think if Jaffe hadn't taken 2 tower shots after he ulted the wave, he would have been okay.
You know, that's where you got a question. Be like, you know, that's a little bit not what you want to do. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, ideally you don't take 2 tower shots and then die with an ignite versus a TP Ornn. But you know, sometimes that happens. Really good from Tadeus, and luckily his team gets Ocean Dragon, which is pretty gross with Seraphine. I'm surprised they didn't ban Seraphine, to be honest. It causes a lot of issues. It's a simple champion to pilot. It's hard to mess up, and it provides a lot of just overall power to your team.
I do think that was partially why they picked the Braum in the first place, was to counteract the Seraphine.
They're gonna have to time that E perfectly to do that, though.
Yeah, it'll be a tricky thing to time.
Cancel auto.
Ooh, that is frustrating. Was it a cancel auto, or did they step outside of auto range?
Canceled auto because he lost vision in the bush. That's why I put the ward down late.
There we go. Yep. All right. Good knock up coming out there. Nope. Never mind. I was kind of, you know, it's funny. Tadeus has not been like taking some of these dives for the pillar that I've been expecting. So it's honestly good because you're not taking trades that you shouldn't be taking. And I applaud him for doing that. But at the same time, it's not as exciting to watch.
They knew. Okay. Good game since Bob Joseph's been playing really well.
Oh, there we go. Got some good damage right there. I think it's funny Mizuza's playing Kale again.
Yeah, I mean, he likes it. It's a comfort pick, and I mean, comfort picks are important in FOF. I think it's an underrated thing. A lot of people try to play meta and they lose sometimes. If you have a trillion games on Kale, pick your Kale. You know, you're probably going to be better on that than like LeBlanc. I do like how Zenzen's playing this lane better, though. He's not just permanently shoving and doing nothing. He's keeping it in a place where leaves could come or Karma could come to roam. So it's the CS is a lot more even this game as well, and it's a PT as well, which is weird. It's definitely better in lane. Lethal tempo is usually what I see, at least from like Drutta and people that like play it in Challenger. But
yeah, the ones that are going for the hyperscale and solo carry.
Yeah, and a cool little interaction. If Kindred and Kale time their ults right, they can live. Like one of the carries can live for an absurdly long time to fix a team fight. So like if they're just losing a team fight pretty hard, and then you drop the Kindred ult and then kill somebody right after it ends, it's gonna bail you out like pretty heavily. But you have to time it like super well.
And you know what's funny is last game they were losing a lot of team fights because somebody didn't survive long enough. So that might have been part of their idea with this comp.
Yeah,
Ooh, we got a fight happening here in the bot lane. Pressure around this Scuttle Crab. We do have Leaves going inside of the Braum, trying to stay alive. Massive block of the Seraphine ulti, though, by that wall. Huge calling coming out. That's a lot of damage back and forth, but a lot of resources spent for no kills. So that's really interesting that it ended up turning out that way. It does mean that it just kind of resets the tempo, but that was just an interesting little skirmish between the two teams for kind of, I don't want to say nothing, but just not a lot.
That was weird. That was really well played from BBZ, or maybe poorly played from TDE. Like, there's a lot of projectiles. War Leader, credit to him for blocking Seraphine ult there, but I don't think that realistically is going to be expected to happen consistently. The Kayle ult was really good, though. They put the Kayle ult down, and it absorbed all the damage from the one individual, so nobody really lost any health in that fight. It made it look really weird.
Yeah, no, that's just it. It's like, I don't want to say that it was necessarily poorly done by TDE, but just very well counteracted by BBZ in that sense. So that's going to be, I think, the way that they want these later game fights to go, because if they're able to block that much damage in these late game team fights, whenever the scaling has come online for Blue Bayou, then that means that they're going to be able to turn around instead of having to run away.
Yeah, I mean, if they can consistently do that, they will have a very good time this game.
Ooh, I love this lane gank from Dax.
When they see Dax,
very well done, jumping right on top of Bob Joseph, immediately forcing the flash. Ultimate's getting dropped by War Leader. It doesn't find a target, but it forces the secondary flash out of Jinx. So that is going to be a lot of resources spent to stay alive by TDE.
Yeah, that kind of sucks for Kindred. They're going to lose Rift Herald for that. That's a good gank. I think they're overforcing a little bit at this point. They used everything, but you're just wasting a little bit of time. That was a good idea. Both bot laners don't have flash now, and that's a pretty diveable lane. So, like, if Kindred wants to circle back around when they reset with gold and get vision, they can
they keep forcing Dax to stay.
Yeah, they could just, like, reset this, get all their health, have Kindred loop around, and then, like, dive with Braum ult, and they can probably get a kill onto Jinx or Karma. Maybe both if they play it fine.
Oh, don't Dax greed is staying here looking for this Gromp, but we do see Jinx and them are ready for it, so they're going to be going in. The ultimate is not available for Kindred, so they are able to pick it up. Bob Joseph going down to the Lucian does mean that we get gold and a stack over for BBZ. That is going to be really big, so it's not going to be totally worth a Rift Herald, but it does give them a little bit of a consolation prize.
I'd take it for a Rift Herald, honestly. It gets your mental reset a little bit.
And those first 4 stacks are so hard and so important.
Yeah, yeah. The 4 really... I want to see you get 4 stacks before 15 minutes, usually. But, like, it's not super realistic in... like 5's game, so maybe 20 minutes would be a better mark. That was weird. I'm really surprised that Bob Joseph died there. Really good from Geico. Geico's in a really good spot this game.
I feel like they just overstepped a little bit, and they stayed. They went into that fight a little bit too closely, and Lucian was able to hit them over the wall.
Yeah, they're still down on gold, but I mean, like, they're kind of clawing it back a little bit. I think it's just going to be awkward.
In this mid lane, it is going to result in that being brought down to... I don't know if you wanted to take that early, because that means that you're only going to get 2 tower platings off instead of, like, down to 1.5.
I was hoping they would pop it and then, like, go to Dragon, because Infernal Dragon's up. But
Infernal Dragon is up, but you've already got BBZ posturing for it.
Yeah, so I mean, like, ideally you want to use the Herald to get some solo gold for somebody and then also establish pressure on the river, but that was not... I mean, they're just ignoring the Dragon. Everybody's ignoring the Dragon, so it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, no, I've seen this before. I think you've got BBZ sitting on wards.
Alright, they should just take Dragon. Yeah.
BBZ's got so much prio for it, too. Kayn is all the way in the top lane, so this is going to be a free Drake.
I'm really surprised they're just giving it. I mean, like, I get that Lucian's, like, strong, but I think they win the 4v4 pretty easily at the moment. I don't like that play out of TDE. I like it out of BBZ. Just take what you can get. If you're just going to get given free stuff, it's really good for you.
Yep. Oh, and we got a fight going on here in the top lane. Jaffe look for that equalizer. Doesn't manage to get as many shots as he would like on it. We do have the Ornn ulti being thrown out. Does manage to hit Jaffe twice.
Jeez.
We are going to be looking for the engage. He's getting a little bit spicy here. They are both exceptionally low. Mezuzah could be getting caught out by Zenzen and Leaves. They do not realize the jungler there. Dax is going to see them.
Flashed over the wall.
Flashed over the wall, looking for that engage. I feel like they wanted to save their Q. interesting choice of summoner spells, but it's not going to play out for their favor, unfortunately. It does cause the TDE team to back off, so that's important. But at the same time, we got a fight going on here in this bot lane. A little bit of a skirmish. We do have Geico going super deep, finding his target, getting the calling shot out, getting that kill. We have another double kill coming out right there. Geico and War Leader commanding this lane.
Clean. Yeah, that was really good from Geico. Geico knows his Lucian limits, like, and damage, like, I guess, breakoffs really well.
The combo with that Gale Force and the Lucian dash was just, I was not expecting him to go so far. He just flew in there.
Yeah, you cover a lot of ground, and, I mean, you do, what, like 236 or something damage with Gale Force, just, like, straight up, so it's really strong. Like, Karma, yeah, 218, pre-mitigation. So Karma's, like, 60% health, you just Gale Force, like, auto Gale Force, E, 2 autos, Q, and like Braum has ult too. It just
Gale Force doesn't proc the
no, it doesn't proc the passive, but it does some. It's free, like the equivalent of 3 autos, pretty much. Like at this point in the game, it's just really strong.
Yeah, it's really funny. Now we got a nice equalizer thrown out. Unfortunately, not in the angle I think Jaffe wanted. It does force Tadeus to walk away, but it's just really not that much. That's going to be really bad not having that for this fight that's about to happen. Probably wanted to save it for the tower dive, so now you got Mezuzah up here. Bot lane is going to be threatened, though. I don't know if War Leader is going to be able to stop this by himself. Does have to deal with a whole wave and a Seraphine.
I cannot believe they're not diving the Rumble.
They're returning here because, like I said, they're choosing not to give up mid lane turret. They're going for the Seraphine instead, going in for Zenzen. I think this is a good call. You're getting the double autos off. You got the charm coming out. It's going to find 3 members. Unfortunately, the stun came out as well. Zenzen is going to be brought so low. Kale's going to pick that up with the exalted auto. So much pain coming out on this team, and already Mezuzah level 11. Flashing over the wall today has to avoid leaves. Gonna be dived under his own turret, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, that ended up really well. I'm surprised that Zenzen didn't notice that they left top lane. Really good play from BBZ, but it's just kind of like a lot of mental mistakes from TDE, it seems, this game. Really good for BBZ to kind of bounce back. Their tower has 5 health. That's pretty tilting for Seraphine.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Leaves going in, be like, hey, I got this. Wait, no, I don't. There's a Kindred here. Hold on. Trying to run away. Going under this tower. We are going to see the double tower shot hitting onto Dax, but it's not going to be a kill. Oh my goodness. That is what BBZ wants to see, and that is going to be first tower going over to the BBZ team. They love that. Mezuzah loves that extra gold as well.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. But that's really good for BBZ. They get a tower, they get a kill.
And you know, 2 minutes off, we have Kindred at 4 stacks.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you want.
Yep. And all right, Dax looking for the engage here. The ultimate has been saved this entire time. Dropped perfectly. The equalizer, though, is gonna finish him off and make it so that it doesn't even matter.
Okay, let's see what. You're too far forward. You can't be there. Yep. All right.
Oh, okay, yep. Ultrabox once again getting hit by that calling shot. So much damage coming out. Another double kill in this bot lane. Nope, we do see that Arma is able to get away.
Yeah, you just can't be there. Like, you have a wave. You're standing in the wave, and Lucian's right there. Just you have a pretty significant range advantage. You just have to let Lucian push you under tower, which they're doing, or just get zoned off. That's really good from Geico, but again, I mean, just a lot of mental mistakes. The fade away equalizer is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I love that equalizer. That was really beautifully played. Like that's kind of what you need. If you're Rumble, you're like, okay, fine, you got yourself brought really low, and you decide to save yourself with your ult. I'm just gonna equalize the entire fight and kill you.
Yeah. Let's see. Dragon on 30. Rumble's ult should be up for it. So everyone besides Kindred, actually, bot lane's not gonna have their ults. Kindred's not gonna have their ults. It should be a free Mountain Dragon for TDE if they want to take it. I'd like to see them just try to establish vision. They're gonna auto attack the tower one time and just walk down. Kale is teleporting in towards mid.
Are they? I don't know if they're gonna actually do that. Nobody's going under the tower to hit it.
1 health. Go. Just touch it.
Just go in there and sneeze, people.
For real. All right. So I mean, technically speaking, this should be a really easy fight for TD just because their ultimates are up and BBZs aren't. But let's see if BBZ gets freaky with it. Lucian is really big. Kale's pretty strong. They can definitely win the fight if they play it well.
I like the double control ward. Very, very.
They're
That means
insane.
nobody's gonna do
That
anything.
was a
Seraphine ult
battle.
is so wide, finds absolutely no one. Ord ulti's gonna find a double knockup onto Ultravox and Bob Joseph. They're so far in the back. Leaves went inside the wrong target at the wrong time, and they're gonna be in a very bad position, not able to respond. Now Geico's just gonna chase them down. Calling is coming out. Damage is going. Double kill onto the Lucian, and that is gonna leave one member of TDE alive. But you know what? That's perfectly all right for BBZ as they've got a dragon to kill.
That was bad, like really bad. The Rumble ult didn't really hit anybody. Seraphine ult, it had to have been like a mini map misclick because that just like went the opposite direction of where everybody was. I don't really know. Really good for BBZ to like realize that hey, they missed their ults, so we can kill all of them. And Geico's just massive, 8-0. Win collector second item this game. He's feeling himself.
I feel like that's reasonable. Like that's kind of one of those things where he's very comfortable in their
when
position.
you're ahead, just grab it. Don't go rapid fire. Just sprint at him.
Much smarter to go ahead and just to be like, look, I've got the damage. I'm ready to go. We're just gonna go ahead and blow things up. I'm just gonna keep getting kills. 8-0 right now. Like that is a scary, scary Lucian. Probably got like something along the lines of I'm thinking 900 gold bounty.
It looks like there'd be 1K when you kill Lucian. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're gonna get that 700 immediately, but then I think there's still gonna be a bounty on his head after he dies.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there we go. Nice knockup in this top lane.
forward.
Jaffe getting brought very low, not able to do Jaffe things as he's going to find himself caught between three members. The equalizer is going to come out, but there's nobody standing in it, so that means that Jaffe is going to get blown up and knocked into the air sky high, comes slamming into the ground, and unfortunately that is going to be tower number what is that? Number 2 falling in the top lane. But you know, TDE looking for that consolation prize in the mid lane, but Geico's here to be like, stay away. This is mine.
Geico can kill both of the bot laners right now if they walk too far forward. But yeah, so Jaffe things, everybody, just in case you don't know, Jaffe does a lot of crazy stuff, and sometimes Jaffe things leads to Jaffe dying like that. Jaffe giveth, Jaffe taketh away, to an extent.
This is true. We did see that last game, the Silas was able to pop off and do some crazy things, so that worked out very well.
Yeah, Rumble doesn't really strike me as a pick that Jaffe I would like to see him on. It's not really like this pushy bruiser, high mechanical outplay champion. I mean, Rumble's a really strong champion, but I don't know. It doesn't strike me as a champion that Jaffe would necessarily excel on. Kale also is like 10 CS a minute, which is gross. And the ornaments are coming in.
Minute. We're sitting at level 14. We've only got 2 more levels before they become a raid boss.
It's pretty. Kale's in a really good spot. Lucian's obviously just turbo ahead, and their team, like TD's team comp, doesn't play very well from behind into a team that has 2 ways to stop you from dying. Like, even if Lucian mispositions, it's so hard for him to actually die right now.
Yeah, as long as he's got his allies there, it's going to be really, really frustrating. All right, so with the way things are progressing, I am expecting to see this next Drake coming up here in 2 minutes. We're going to see Baron's already up. Probably see a Baron call here shortly. Dax, though, getting caught out by Leaves, did get knocked up. We do see that he went Rost this game rather than Shadow Assassin. So we got a nice bit of damage coming out. Dax being brought exceptionally low, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough as we see Geico getting the call and gets the shot up. Ord, huge knockup under tower means that we're going to see a Seraphine caught out of position. The top tower was exploded as well. Double kill for the Lucian. Very well played by BBZ, and that's going to be an easy Baron call, I think, for them, as Dax is now healed up, so they're going to be able to come over here, and that is a 5-man team versus 3 members left on the side of TDE. This is going to be really difficult for them to contest. Jaffe is going to be in this bot lane pushing, just trying to find any sort of extra stuff for them. Bob Joseph's going to get caught out, though. Devastating for trickle-down economics, as we can see that the market has taken a huge downturn for them, and their return on investment is coming up short.
The economic policies of Ronald Reagan can be discussed on a different show, but I would say they didn't work out super well. TDE is feeling it at the moment, and I don't know. I mean, that's just everybody's dead. Baron, it's just gone. There's no reason to even walk up and ward it. It's not a huge point because Karma's worth like 8 gold right now. But there's, you just die for free. And everybody, I mean, it's looking pretty doomed for TDE, which is weird because I thought that the game was over at like minute 1 when Dax just died 80 times. But I don't know. Gale's really, really far ahead. Still insane. Today is quietly having a really good game on Ornn. War Leader hasn't died yet, which is different from Nami last game. So maybe just stick him on tanky engage champions. Let him lead the charge,
Interesting
you know?
Yeah, Dax just kind of abandoned their Krugs and immediately rushed to this mid lane. It feels like they're doing a huge mid lane push. I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that, what their decision making is behind that. I think it's probably to prep for this dragon, to try and just get major priority for it.
I think that's the case, yeah. There just isn't really a reason to do the Krugs right now. You're not on an item spike. You're probably like 800, 900 gold off of Wit's End. I don't really like the Wit's End second, to be honest, but it's not the worst thing. So just go with the team, you know, just in case TDE tries to 5-man your 3 people. Kindred being there kind of prevents that entirely. So I like the play to just rotate everybody.
I like the call from TDE here where they're like, look, if you want to prep for Dragon, that's fine. That just leaves mid lane open, which we're going to push on. We got a huge Braum ulti, though, coming out. Ornn does not manage to get very many knockups, and that is going to be a distant charm coming out of Zen Zen as they're forced off of this. They don't get a lot out of that push, though. So that's going to be really interesting how this ends up pairing up. We do have Kindred just kind of going to take the solo dragon, and we do have some ornaments coming out. So that's really a bad call by TDE. Unfortunately, it does not work out in their favor. Bob Joseph brought very low.
They, yeah, TDE actually got nothing out of that at all. They just, one person died, they didn't get tower. The idea was good, but once you see people, like, arrive, you have to leave when you're down this much gold. Kindred is allowed to get solo, so when you want a solo dragon, this is how you solo dragon. You don't do it when the enemy jungler is standing there. That's really good. And if they get Mountain Soul, I don't know if TDE actually has any damage to kill anybody on their on BBZ's team at this point. They're pretty thirsty for gold, and the carries have all the kills as well. So it's just it looks a little doomed.
Just a little bit, unfortunately. Mezuzah and Geico are both 0 deaths this game. Braum as well, and Braum has had pretty high KP participation.
Braum and Lucian looking good. They're bringing it back to season 6 a little bit. Back when that was like one of the that and Ezreal were the only 2 champions played bot lane for like a year. I like the lane. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the strongest lane in the game, especially when Lucian Nami exists, right? But I mean, the innate synergies between the passives is just going to work well regardless of
especially with the change, yeah.
Season state, especially to Jinx too. Jinx just doesn't do much for a while, and Lucian does stuff. Is I guess the easiest way to put it. I don't know. I think it all kind of turned around on Gromp. Things started to kind of get out of hand when Karma died on Gromp to Lucian.
Yeah, interesting enough that that's kind of how it worked out.
I would like to see BBZ just 4-1 it. Kale has TP. You can just have Ornn with the team. You can even I don't think there's a lot of value in just having Ornn, even though he has teleport, be matching the Rumble, because you're not going to outpush the Rumble, and there's no kill pressure. So maybe even just switch the spellbook over and just go join the team, and have Kale side lane and split the map entirely, because it's going to take more than one person to kill Kale. But they're pushing bot. That's okay. I really think they should have somebody top side with 4 bot, but we'll see how this goes.
That would be the more beneficial way of doing it, but unfortunately that is not what TDE is deciding to opt for. They are deciding to try and counter this bot lane. Good dodge by Geico in order to avoid getting caught out, or Dax, sorry. There's double dashes on the side of BBZ, so I mixed them up there for a second. So very well played. Unfortunately, just not able to do anything on the side of TDE as they lose yet another tower. Now we've got Mezuzah soloing Leaves, just absolutely shredding that health bar. So much damage from the Exalted Kill as the Righteous Fury just rips right through the Devil. I mean, there's not much that Darkin can do in this instance.
This is what happens when you can't accelerate the game and you have Kale.
Trying to rip Jaffe's soul from his body. Not able to do it, though. But he's not done. He wants it. You can see the Demon Slayer wants it.
Yeah, you have Ayaj on Lucian. I have a feeling Geico's gonna accidentally go a little too sicko mode and kill himself once this game, but that's just because he's feeling himself, and that'll be okay. You know, you're allowed to do that when you're 11-0. You can die one time and your team can't say anything about it. That's the rule. But when Kale gets free CS at, I mean, it's like 9.3 a minute still. And you can't accelerate the game. It's going to be really difficult to win. The Seraphine ults have definitely not been on point this game. I'm not just sure if it's a little bit of
have been missing
maybe a cold room or something. Gotta warm the fingers up. But,
a little bit.
Yeah, they've definitely been making the fights a lot easier for BBZ, and I mean, credit to BBZ again. Like they came back from a 3K gold deficit early on a late game team comp, which is really good, and they're up 9K now.
Zen
Oh my
having a
god!
flash over the wall. Look at that damage from 3 auto attacks off of the Lucian. So much, and that health bar is basically at halfway, and so that is going to be really, 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 really bad, as she has a lot of health on there. So that's just, it shows you how powerful this Lucian is right now.
I love Lucian. Lucian's my probably favorite AD carry overall that's ever been released.
the opposite death bushes.
Maybe they just stand there for like 6 minutes each and just passively get gold. This is interesting. I like this force. It's not super risky. Kindred can like
this is not
if
risky
Kane goes,
at all
if
for
Kane
BBZ.
goes in,
Kane's
Kindred
gonna be
can
looking to
pop
come in.
ult.
The smite's gonna come out.
Wait.
Take it. They did not stop him in time, but unfortunately for Zayus, he's gonna be caught out in a nasty spot. He does go invulnerable thanks to the Kindred ultimate, but it's not gonna matter as it disappears. Oh, that's painful.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not risky because Kindred, when they see Kane, they can just ult the Baron, like with your ult, and then it doesn't die, and you can CC the Kane, and like wait it out. So he'll either have to like get, Braum auto attacks him, and they just focus CC on him, and then he dies, or he goes into his ultimate. Like,
I wonder if they
smite.
knew that they could do that.
I assume Dax plays Kindred. I would hope that he knows that interaction. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance they don't know that. But like when you see Kane just hop over and it's that low, just pop the ult. You don't want to 50-50 it. It doesn't matter too much. It's definitely good mentally for TDE who got like 3K gold off that. But
it's going to be Dragon Soul for
yeah.
BBZ though at this point. There, and this Mountain Soul is going to be devastating for TDE, as they've already been having trouble taking down the BBZ comp. It's just going to be even more difficult now that they've got a massive shield.
They're just tanky, yeah.
They're just tanky boys. And while they do have this Baron empowered push, and they're going to get some bounty gold of it, there's not a lot more that TDE has available to them. They're probably going to look topside, try and get this turret here, but it's just, even so, there's only so much they can do.
This is pretty good from TDE. I mean, they're definitely getting the most value they can out of the Baron. Like, they're very lucky to get the bounty. So the Baron itself is an objective bounty, and they're going to get 2 more off the towers, which is really good for them. It's going to shorten the gold lead from 9K to, what is that, like, only 6K? So a 3K gold swing is pretty good. I don't think it's going to really make a huge difference just because of the champions, but eventually it's going to be a little weird to play the fights. So I'd like to see BBZ just send it.
Ulti again doesn't find a target. We've got Cullen getting thrown out, trying to run away, does manage to have health. Jaffy's going to get bursted down as they try to overextend just way too much. Ornn ultimate's going to find a knockup, and that is going to be a dead Zen getting caught out, dead Ultravox, and then Zen's going to get chased down as well. Trying to get away is going to get slowed. They're going to get blown up. Leaves now is going to be the one caught out. Inhibitor turret is gone. Inhibitor's going to fall next, and I think we're just going to see the BBZ comp now just start to push into this base. There's not a lot that they could hope to do against this, as they just rip through the towers, and that is going to be a massive swing as BBZ manages to take game number 2 off of trickle-down economics, and that is going into game number 3, a 1-1 split. We could very well be looking at a 5-game series.
I did not expect that, to be honest. That game got out of hand really, really quickly. Good for BBZ. Good job, guys. A+. Geico went sicko mode. Also, Dax is apparently just untiltable, which is a good character arc change. If I died 2 times and was level 2 at 6 minutes on Kindred, I would not want to. I might accidentally my internet might go out on accident, guys. Like that would be pretty frustrating. But really, really good game. Geico. I mean, again, just sheesh. Good job.
Yep, very, very well done. Very good reversal of fortunes coming out of BBZ after a very, very rough start. So I'm excited to see game number 3 now. I wonder if we're going to actually see a mix-up this time around on the draft, or if it's going to be exactly the same rundown, because it feels like BBZ found a comp that they're comfortable with, as they that Braum and Kindred mix-up really helped them this time around in reverse. And I feel like TDE may have overplayed themselves a little bit with their change-ups with the Rumble and the Karma. So overall, I expect to see some shifts there at the shift in the Rumble at least.
And they're gonna ban Lucian too.
Yeah, we'll probably see Jaffy doing some Jaffy things in game number 3, folks. So don't go away. Stick around. We will be right back.